This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Prime.
Every chocolate lover's dream to be able to visit a factory like Willy Wonka's. But it's a true Chocoholics fantasy to be able to create chocolates like the master himself.
From tempering to molding, chocolate making isn't as easy as it seems. On today's show, we take you through some of the country's finest chocolate academies and talk to you about the challenges in the chocolate making business. Chocolate. Rich, indulgent, decadent. First discovered by the Mayans, it is used in a number of desserts and treats. Its creative use is what inspired 21-year-old Ananya to consider pursuing chocolate making as a career.
When I was a child, I would love receiving like my one birthday cake that I would wait for all year round. And then eventually from getting pretty cakes, I wanted to make pretty cakes, and I started casually baking at home. A lot of my friends and parents liked what I was making. I thought like it became a passion. I wanted to do it more and more. Every day I would wake up like, oh my god, I want to make something today. I've come here now because I've decided that like I need a more professional outlook. I want to make this my career.
Chocolatiering is the art of making confectionaries from chocolate by means of molding, sculpting and painting. Popular worldwide, it is slowly gaining a strong foothold in India. Here at the Lavon Academy of Baking Science and Pastry Arts, the students break down the process for us. The first step is tempering.
You just have to melt the chocolate to 45 degrees where all the cocoa butter is melted, and then you cool it down to, depending on the kind of chocolate that you're using, either if it's dark milk or white, you cool it down to a certain temperature, which is usually about 27 to 28 degrees, and you'll heat it up to 32 degrees, which is your workable temperature. From there on, you can start doing what you have to do.
Once the chocolate has been tempered, we move on to molding. Here, a variety of different shapes and patterns are used on the tempered chocolate to make our favorite treats look fun and exciting.
There are molds made with polycarbonate. You need to pour chocolate in and you create shells. You create shells for the ganache that you're going to be putting in. So ganache or any sort of filling that you want, so that the chocolate is the chocolate tastes of that sort of flavor. If it's a dark chocolate, there is a certain flavor profile that will go with dark. There's a certain flavor profile that will go with white chocolate. So depending on that, you prepare a ganache or you prepare a caramel filling, and then you just fill it in.
The final step is painting. Chocolate makers and pastry chefs use a variety of edible paints and glitter to give their chocolate products that perfect finishing touch.
When you start making chocolates and you want to be creative with it, you want to show some colorful chocolates. You want to show the sort of flavor that you would probably expect inside the chocolate. So you use different colors. If it's a mango, then you would probably use green and yellow. So what we do is we use cocoa butter with chocolate color, and then again cocoa butter also has to be tempered, and we use different painting techniques, which is usually followed in regular art, either using a spray or using a paintbrush. Create different patterns in a chocolate mold. Once that sets, you can go ahead and finish it off with your tempered chocolate.
Chocolate is a tricky substance to work with. There are a number of factors to look at in order for it to turn out just right. Chef Vinesh gives us a couple of pointers to keep in mind while working with chocolate.
Water is one of the biggest enemy for chocolate. So also the process of melting the chocolate, you don't heat it up too much. You have to heat it gradually. If you're using a microwave, then you need to be very careful, because the center of the chocolate could burn easily if you don't take it out every 10 or 12 seconds and mix it. And if you're using a double boiler method, again, make sure that you don't take the chocolate above 60 degrees Celsius, because once the chocolate burns, then you can't do anything with it. Humidity plays a very big role. So if you're going to make chocolate, you need to make sure that the temperature of the room and the humidity in the room is apt. You want the room to be in about 20-21 degrees, and you don't freeze chocolate. You let it crystallize at the temperature it's supposed to crystallize.
Over the years, the chocolate industry in India has seen a steady rise in the public's interest. Many people are willing to experiment with new tastes and flavors.
Even from when I was a kid, I can remember that it was always milk chocolate, milk, milk, milk. But now I see a lot of dark in the market. So I think, yeah, people are getting a little more used to, because like European tastes, they do like a lot of darker chocolate with less sugar. So then we had these versions of dark which did have high sugar, but now people like the bitter. So yeah, they are leaning towards experimenting and including Indian flavors with chocolate as well. Yeah, a lot of like funky flavors coming up. So I do think they're definitely experimenting now.
Well, chocolate making certainly is an exciting career option considering how nascent the field is in India. But starting your own chocolate business can be quite challenging. Isn't that right, Lakshmi?
That's right. I visited this chocolatier called Just Drops in Bangalore to find out how they went about it. Here's a look.
A little bit of chocolate can brighten up even the worst of days. That's the belief that keeps Bengaluru's master chocolatier Chandana Shea going. Her mission? To make sure India has access to some of the best chocolates in the world made in India. It's been 14 years since she took the risk and started her own chocolaterie, and today, Chandana knows that it's a bet that has paid off.
When I started Just Drops in 2001, a lot of people said, you'll have to do cakes or something along with it because just chocolates around the year you won't get enough business. But I said, no, I'm sure we will. It's such a beautiful medium to work with. It's also a very difficult medium. If you work with real chocolate, it's a very difficult medium. You have to have the temperatures right, you have to have the settings right. But eventually when somebody walks into your shop and then they say, oh, this truffle, it is, the other day there was a French guy who walked in here and says, oh, this truffle, it reminds me of what my mother used to make in France, It's those kind of moments that we live for.
Chandana's team at Just Drops exclusively sells Belgian truffles that are made at the Just Drops facility in Bengaluru. Despite how simple it looks, Chandana says starting a business making chocolates is no easy task.
You can go very creative in chocolate, you can buy the most expensive materials, but if you don't know how to market it, how to store it, how to produce it systematically, you can't go very far. And I myself was a home chocolatier, and everything that we make at Just Drops even now is the same process that we were using as a home-based chocolatier. But everybody depends on the quality that they buy, the quality of raw materials that we buy.
Chandana says that the bigger challenge while starting a chocolaterie in India is dealing with Indian sensibilities when it comes to sweets.
India doesn't have an innate chocolate eating culture. But the thing with India is that it's a growing market in terms of gifting, for weddings, for corporate gifting, for events. Chocolate is very, very acceptable and very wanted for these occasions. And even people indulging themselves, it's increasing every day, we see a lot of changes. However, the Indian market has to still mature in terms of quality. So not too many Indians are ready to pay the price for quality.
Starting a business in chocolate making is one thing, but it will get nowhere without employees getting trained properly for it. Chandana, in fact, is a confectionery chef and hotel management graduate. But when she decided to start Just Drops, she decided to go all in and get trained by the best. This is something that she suggests all aspiring chocolatiers do.
As far as I know, hotel management institutes, they may be teaching a little bit with compound chocolate, but they don't teach real chocolate, which is, real chocolate is made with cocoa butter. So when I started from the home, I decided that I'm going to try Belgian chocolates. So I went to Singapore, I studied at the Academy, and I came back and I started experimenting with Belgian chocolates. And after that I went to Belgium and I trained with the master chocolatier in Belgium itself and stayed with them, and it was like, so that's how I've kept training myself, and I've got a chocolatier in from abroad to train my team over here.
India also has very few certified chocolate academies. A well-known chocolate academy in India is the Barry Caliber Chocolate Academy in Mumbai. Institutes offering year-long courses and more advanced courses are present in Australia, New Zealand and Germany. Short-term chocolate making courses are also available in most culinary schools abroad.
Coming up next, Ankita chats with a couple of students about to set foot in this industry. Stay tuned.